Brendan. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
That's good. That's good. Um, First of all, I watched the Friendship Game a few days ago and absolutely loved it. So congratulations on that.
Okay, great. Yay. All right.
And you play Rob in the film, but I want to know from you, how would you describe this movie?
Yeah, I would describe it as well, would you like the plot? Or would you like something a little more broad than that as far as like like I don't know. I'll think about it. So I would see it's sort of an examination of these four friends who find this thing, this sort of object, mysterious looking object in a yard sale. And it's kind of sold to them as a friendship game, a game that will test their friendships. And so this sort of supernatural element that sort of messes with their reality kind of arrives at a time where their friendship is already being tested in a unique way. It's sort of the summer between high school and college. And the four of them have been so tight in high school and they've been their own little group. And now, they're all going different places in their lives. And it's a really interesting sort of examination where you've got this sort of mix of a truly kind of wild, creepy, fantastical element going on, mixed with some pretty interesting, real, relatable human friendship drama.
That was perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what was it about the story that kind of drew you in to be a part of it?
I think it was the balance of those two elements. I think that's why I described it that way. It's the balance of those two elements is what kind of drew me in, is the feeling of these characters and their sort of real human stakes of a real friendship and a friendship kind of at risk, especially when you're younger, even younger like that, when you're like, oh man, like everything feels very permanent, but then you're aware that so much can and will change. Kind of mixing that in with, a really, really fun, kind of almost like slippery in its point of view and in its sort of who the lead should be, could be, all that kind of stuff was really interesting to me to kind of mix those two elements together. I remember reading the script the first time. It was just a great read. It was a fun read, and it was a little bit, in a good way, a little bit confusing. Where it's like, okay, wait, what is happening here? It sort of made my brain work a little bit. When did the game start? What is this? What is the game? What isn't? All that stuff I think was kind of fun. So yeah, it kind of had both of those elements. So that's really exciting when you kind of can see how, as a fan, it would be really fun if I was just watching it. And then you can also sort of see all the things as an actor that it'll be kind of call upon. It's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. From my perspective, it was like, I feel like I have to watch it again just because it is a movie that you kind of have to pay attention to, but it's also just really fun.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's kind of the fun of those things, when they can hopefully work on the initial viewing, but then you kind of want to kind of go back.
Exactly, yeah. What was it like working with Peyton, Kelsey, and Caitlin as a friendship, and did you do anything special to kind of create that bond?
I don't know if we just did anything particularly special, but we spent a lot of time together, and we sort of, at the beginning, I mean, we didn't have a ton of time, the four of us together, before we started shooting, but I think we were spending a lot of time together offset, and we were sort of all in the same hotel, which was really fun, and spending a lot of time kind of just hanging out in each other's rooms, playing silly games, talking to each other. And it was fun because we really got to be real friends pretty fast, which was super helpful. Because even though we didn't have a lot of time before the shoot, it was a very, you're there in the same hotel, and so even after a week, it really felt like we'd established a pretty genuine friendship bond, which then we were able to sort of put into the movie in a really exciting way, and kind of as an actor, you're always looking to find a way to get something on screen that is believable. But I think the nice thing with this is, off camera, we all clicked pretty quick. We all liked each other. We all were excited to be there. And it was easy, actually. We all are still friends and still hang out when we're all in the same city and have a group thread. So it's kind of extended now, long beyond the shoot. So that's kind of how you look back and you go, okay, it was a really genuine friend bond with all of us. That's why it was so easy.
That's good. That's awesome. Um, and what was it like working with Scooter to create this really complex story?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Scooter was awesome. I mean, that's kind of was my first sort of methods of preparation where we're talking with Scooter, before I'd met even any of the other cast. So yeah, from the beginning, Scooter was really collaborative. He was really easy to talk to. I mean, I think one of the first times I talked to Scooter, it really was just us talking about movies, talking about, all that stuff. We were really just getting to know each other as people, and that was fun. And Scooter's also a friend, is also someone that I have had kind of friend hangs with since the movie's over, and someone I keep in touch with. So that's fun too. He's sort of another friend that I actually made through the movie. But really, when it came to the work, yeah, he was really focused. He was really sort of there to realize a really exciting, cool vision. And I felt like he was always super collaborative as a director. But anytime he gave a note, it was great. It was very pointed, and I got a lot out of it. And yeah, I just felt a great shorthand with him. And it's interesting when you're acting on something, you you pick up a little bit of what's going on camera wise, and I am interested in directing, so I like to do that. But there's only so much you can only so much energy you can take into being aware of that stuff. You kind of have to be aware of how much it you can to be more collaborative and not get in the way of that stuff. But especially seeing the movie back, there was just a lot of mood setting and atmosphere and things that Scooter did as a director that I just wasn't aware of while you're making the movie. And it was I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that was also exciting too. As an act and also as an actor, it's nice when you sort of watch the movie back and enjoy the atmosphere. And even as an actor myself, it's like there's a lot of really intense emotional stuff in this movie. And I don't think they used anything that was too bad acting wise. It's like you really have to jump over the edge as an actor at that point. And I sometimes if you do that and then you see performance stuff back that you're like, oh man, that is so bad, why did they choose that? That can kind of erode that trust, because you're really trusting the director to um use kind of good stuff and make you look good. And he did that, and that was for the most part, and that was awesome. So I just for the most part I was really happy with the performances of everyone and how it turned out. And so that just strengthens my trust in Scooter as a filmmaker.
That's awesome. I love that you were able to cultivate that and keep it.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything that you hope the audience takes away either from the movie as a whole or from your character?
Hmm. I think I think it would be great if people took away, yeah, maybe an appreciation for the friendships in their life, or even more than an appreciation, an examination of it too. You need to look at the people that are your closest friends, and I would think in most cases, hopefully just appreciate them a little bit more and think about the time and how precious the time you have with your friends is. But also maybe maybe people are, they're not as good friends as to you as they need to be. And maybe that's, you need to seek elsewhere. That's not the moral of the friendship game in the movie, but it is an interesting theme that it sort of plays with, which is interesting. So it's sort of figuring out who your friends are, but making sure you're keeping the ones that are good and allowing the ones that aren't to sort of go away.
That's interesting. That is true though. That is true. All
Yeah.
right. Um, Before I let you go, are you on social media? Where can people follow you?
Yeah. Brendan KJ Meyer. Which is, so yeah, that's on Twitter and on Instagram.
All right. Awesome. Well,
All right.
thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time.